there are still wounds that have not healed.
Hundreds of people are in southern Idaho this week to remember a painful past that lies in Jerome. We're glad you're with us for the news at 10. Today marks day 2 of an annual pilgrimage that draws survivors of the Minidoka Concentration Camp and their descendants back to the National Historic Site. Our Abby Davis went to Twin Falls, where the group gathered today to hear their stories of fear, courage, and resilience.
And the commanding officer said, "We don't know why we're here. We don't know why we're doing this to these people. This is the hardest thing we've ever had to do." And Woodward then notes every soldier had tears in their eyes.
Today we have our educational sessions.
Giving people the knowledge to understand what they're looking at when they visit the Minidoka National Historic Site in Jerome Saturday. More than 13,000 Japanese Americans were incarcerated there during World War II.
Being a survivor is almost like having PTSD.
David Sikora was 6 years old when he and his family were forced into the concentration camp.
This is really an important event for me because I'm approaching the age of 90, and I'm afraid that this might be my last pilgrimage.
More than 24 of his family members came with him to the multi-day event.
People who just now are hearing that this happened to us.
Roughly 250 people traveled to southern Idaho in total.
Coming here to Minidoka is a place for me to heal those wounds that are still very raw after 80 years.
The mission of the pilgrimage is to ensure that what happened to Japanese Americans during World War II does not happen again to any group. And we do that through coming here and learning about the history, hearing the stories, sharing those stories with others, making sure that those experiences continue to be heard.
So it's really important to share the stories while people are still around.
While Friday was a day of learning,
our history was really repressed, both by the government and by our own relatives who were too nervous to talk about it.
Saturday will be a day of reflection as people walk the paths they or their relatives once took.
It's weird kind of reliving what my grandparents went through, but in a very different way. You learn a lot more about your family and also your own identity.
Even now, when I think about what happened, I have a hard time talking about it. And that's why I want to come to be healed in this experience, because this is sacred ground.
A big part of today was catching people up to speed about the Lava Ridge project, a massive wind farm proposed near the National Historic Site. Many people believe it would desecrate the area. The Bureau of Land Management will announce whether it's approved this summer. In Twin Falls, I'm Abby Davis, Idaho's News Channel 7.